My name is Rebecca Robinson, and I am an artist. During the height of the protests, I think I was just emotionally charged, and I had something to say. I didn't know what I wanted to say, but as an artist, I wanted to use my artwork as my voice. It just kind of happened. It was quick. I got an email from a young lady that is with the Art Council of Indianapolis, and she reached out. She said, "Hey Rebecca, I know it's last minute. How do you feel about doing a mural in honor of the Black Lives Matter movement?" And I said, "Sure, what do I need to do?" She said, "Well, you got to move fast, but just let me know if you're willing to do it." And I said, "Absolutely." So I was inspired to start sketching some ideas and what message I was really going to say in my artwork.
So when I initially look at it, it reminds me of the POW flag a lot, and just even the materials that you use, tar and concrete, really interesting connotations to them and what those materials are used for. In your own perspective, what is the story that you're conveying here? What emotions are you conveying with this?
Right. And that you bring up a good point, as far as the symbolism of war and, right now being at, war with just racial injustice, social injustice, police brutality, the list goes on and on. But that's exactly what I wanted to project. When I was online not too long ago, I saw this a map of the United States, and it said that for every state that has participated in protesting, they were going to put it in black, and it was a whole blackout. The whole United States was all in black. It was somewhat of a coincidence or a prophecy, I would like to say, but maybe back in, I think it was like February, I had a art show to do, and even before all of this kind of came about, I made a sculpture of a hoodie, and for some reason I just had this idea to show a symbolism of racial profiling and how the hoodie seems to be this negative connotation. So I designed this hoodie, and to finish it, I put a small United States on there, all in black. This is way before any of this happened. So, when you speed up till now, and I saw that, how that represented every state, all these countries, people around the world that have been protesting, I said that is something that I think is the direction I want to take. So I thought about incorporating the flag, and then I said, oh, okay, well, what else could I incorporate? That kneeling position that represents all of us protesting peacefully, but I always say protesting with purpose, so then you can be heard.
This is a question that I ask everybody. In your opinion, what role does art play in the revolution?
I think the role that art plays is just seeing different perspectives, different viewpoints. Everybody doesn't have to agree. I think that's what makes art beautiful, because it just opens up dialogue. You get to see just inside someone else's thoughts and mine, and I think that's fair. And I think art in general is fair. As an artist, I think I like to push the envelope, and you had mentioned about my materials. I used to work in traditional materials, I still do, but I like to push myself, and I say like 5 years ago, I wanted to just do something really just grainy and edgy and rough, literally rough. I didn't know what it was going to be. I took a trip to, a hardware store, just started grabbing some materials, playing around, and that's what artists do. It's just trial and error, and some things work, some things don't. But that's what makes you a better artist, is when you're willing to take that risk. And now I've just mastered using this technique with concrete and tar, and I haven't looked back since.
So I know that we are also, against the backdrop of a global pandemic that's going on, and it has changed the ways in which we gather and consume art and different things like that.
Yeah.
What's next for you?
A lot of doors have opened during this pandemic, and I think people have harped on a lot of the negative, but it has brought about a lot of positive. And just personally, it's just allowed me to build more relationships, better relationships, be a little bit more conscious of, what's really taking place right now. I mean, we get so consumed with social media and not reaching out to family and friends, or picking up the phone and calling somebody you hadn't talked to in years, maybe sitting down and having quiet time, reading a book, getting back to sketching or journaling, things like that. So I think if people would look at the brighter side and embrace sometimes things that are looked at as tragedy, something beautiful comes out of that. So I'm really hoping that my career will, continue to grow, and my relationships continue to grow, and just the mark that I'm leaving here on Indianapolis, I'm really proud, so I can just start spreading my wings a little bit more.